Well, tomorrow is the big day, but with at least 5.5 million pre-poll votes cast and a couple of million or more postal votes in the mail, anything up to half of all votes have already been cast. In fact, in some seats, more than half the votes have already been cast. Still, it does mean that about half of all the voting will happen tomorrow. And still, of course, nobody is certain of the result. The Labor Party remains ahead in the polls, as it has been for months, but the gap is narrowing, as I always said it would. The latest Ipsos poll in the Australian Financial Review has the two-party preferred split at 53 Labor and 47 for the Coalition. That's only a point or two further apart than the polls were last time, when I said the shy Tory factor might be enough to see the Coalition win. They did, of course. It's harder this time, but I also get the sense that the swing back is happening more dramatically. We'll get a news poll later tonight. I can't wait to see that. In fact, I've been given a bit of a sneak preview of it, and the tightening trend does continue in news poll tonight, although it won't give you a clear indication as to who the winner will be. This election is going to be very close. Will the gap narrow enough to see the Coalition re-elected and Anthony Albanese denied victory? That is the big question. And I think it is a distinct possibility. There are a couple of reasons for this. First, I think the attacks against Scott Morrison and the Coalition have been hateful and superficial. I mean, what really is Labor's case for change? We've just seen relentless attacks on Morrison, portraying him as callous, uncaring, nasty, and even sexist. None of it's been plausible, but of course few people have been speaking up for him in public debate because the nastiness is just so prevalent. And all this just increases the shy Tory factor. People don't enter public debate on the right of centre for fear of the abuse or disdain that comes their way. And they are shy even about sharing their true views with pollsters. That's why polls consistently underestimate Conservative votes. That factor should be stronger than normal this year because the attacks have been more aggressive and widespread. We'll see, but it can't be discounted. Another crucial factor is the preference flows from breakaway parties on the right. Clive Palmer, Liberal Democrats, One Nation, and even, of course, the teal independents. With the primary votes for the major parties likely to be lower than ever, all these minor party votes will decide many crucial seats with their preferences. And it's almost impossible to estimate these preference flows. If they go stronger to the Coalition than the opinion poll estimates, it could make all the difference. We might still be counting postal votes next week to finalise this result. But for me, it always comes down to the fundamentals and how Australian voters en masse tend to get federal elections right. Given what this country has been through, given how well we have handled it compared to the rest of the world, and given the economic and security threats looming ahead, will a majority of Australians want to take the risk of changing government? As you know, I think the Coalition has been disappointing, spending too much, letting the states impose lockdowns and border closures, and giving in on net zero at great risk to our energy security. But by world standards, we're rolling in the clover in this country. And Labor is a massive risk on economic management, border security, standing up to China and climate overreach. Back in 2007, voters tossed out a good government in comfortable times because Labor promised they would be similar but better. Anyone who was hurt by that Rudd-Gillard-Rudd disaster will think twice about doing that all over again. Still, whatever happens, we will accept the result and hope that our country only gets better and stronger.